I feel really honored to be here on this red spot, which is a space to share the great ideas across. I truly congratulate the organizers and truly thankful to be here because since morning we have witnessed some of the life-changing ideas. And I feel really enjoyable to be part of this journey. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time to now get into the soul intelligence, what really crux the authenticity of you as an individual, of you which really brings shift to new creation. So at morning at Banaras, a weaver, before she starts weaving, she decides to light a lamp. And by lighting lamp, she decides to put all her prayers, all her intention, all her positivity into the threads which are then going to get weaved. So at that point, she's not just weaving silk, she's weaving with soul. That's me, of course, and here I invite you to get into this very interesting topic of soul craft, the spirit AI can't replicate. Most of the time in design community as designers, they feel really scared with the way the AI is taking shape. Now this topic will really help us to understand what is the essence of soul craft, which is our tradition, and things which are part of our future, how we can connect it together. So we live in the world where beauty is becoming data, perfect, predictable, and effective. Everything is very, very predictable. Now, when we talk of a dialogue between hand, heart, and spirit, that's what creates true soul intelligence. And that's what we really are capable of doing and contributing as humans when we are creating something. AI can design, analyze, forecast, and teach art very easily. Within a second, you can replicate any design. That will hardly take any of the time. But what it really can't replicate is the soul, is the ability, the way the artisans do the sets of ritual before they start their creation. So when we talk of innovation, we often celebrate speed, precision, and intelligence. But what about soulful intelligence? What is that? So soulful intelligence, as many of us have been contributing so far, is the ability to infuse meaning into matter, emotions, which are very, very critical, emotions into form, and purpose into creation. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, purpose, whatever is the soulful purpose, that must get translated with the simple authenticity across. So it's a fact. It's a fact that soulful, intelligent design really helps us to cool our nerves. We feel better when we possess such designs. When we talk of luxury, the luxury brands truly are chasing for machine perfection. No doubt they are created with handcrafted elements with all details. But true luxury, which is there to shift the soul and the heart, is really there when we pinch, when we try to find out the uniqueness of the imperfection which is there in the intention with every thread, because we are human, we will make errors. So let's take it easy. Let's accept that journey of all those errors and making it part of the celebration, because that's what the artisans, that's what the craftsmen have been doing, creating different rituals before their main creation is the way they have been celebrating their process of creation. And every gesture, every single gesture, which is very unique to that piece of craft, that really create not just craft, but a higher consciousness. So let's create a very simple, very easy version of soul craft here for ourselves so that we learn something and are in the journey of creating something similar in the process. So we all have a bundle of thread with us. How many of you are carrying that in the audience? You can raise your hands. Oh, that's wonderful. So now I will request all of you, those who have the thread, to really participate in the activity with the threads, and the rest of the audience. I hope all of you do have the water bottle with you, because water do have memories, and it will be really, really interesting to carry the activity with the water bottle as well. So please sit comfortably wherever you are. You don't need to talk to your friends for some time, because you are creating the best of the intention for your next creation. Your next creation can be anything, a life-changing idea of a new venture if you are thinking about. Maybe you have to submit your assignment on the Monday and you are really thinking of some new creative idea. All of that which you have to create. Maybe you have to cook back at home, some interesting recipe for the dinner. Anything which you are thinking for the next line of creation, think of that creation. Sit comfortably. Think of that creation which is really the next line of creation which is bothering you. Maybe an assignment, maybe a venture, maybe something very simple which you are planning to create for yourself. Now, you close your eyes because you have to be comfortable with yourself. This is the most important and complex part. We are comfortable with others, but we miss to be comfortable with ourselves. So please feel comfortable with yourself, hold the thread, and put all your love, all your gratitude, all your good intentions to it, and imagine your best version for success for that creation which you are planning to. So I will give you some time for it. The way the weaver lighted the diya and put her intention with the ritual, with this act, you put your love and your creation, which is coming up, planned in your line so that you get aligned with this ritual. Once you're through with it, I will request to open that thread. Those who have the thread, if you can just open that reel and just make a knot. By making a knot with the thread, you keep a promise to yourself that I will remain conscious. I will keep a note of each and every moment of my whenever I am to that part of the creation. So with this, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, you have created a very simplified version of soul craft. We can practice this in more advanced and more complex manner as well. So it's a fact that AI is not the enemy. And if that is the case, how can we really make collaborative use? And when we talk of collaborative use, here are the set of 4 action plans which can be used for luxury creation, because we are right now discussing about handcrafted product and soul craft for creation. So the first one here, as a part of the strategy, is to include ritual and algorithm. Ritual, as you all got included in building up a ritual, and the algorithm, which is to study the consumer insight. So study the consumer insight, which is anyways very important and critical, plus taking consideration of the ritual of intention, both of it together as a mindful activity for building the brand. The next is about digital heritage vault. So when we talk of these kind of crafts, these are all very feminine in nature. When we talk of feminine energy dominantly, they are very intuitive by learning. These are the crafts which are passed on from generation to generation, from guru to the shishya. And as a result, many of us, when we go to schools and colleges, we have a structured curriculum. Here, the curriculum is not necessarily very structured. It's not that rigid. It's very flexible. It's something which gives the learner the responsibility and the mobility to choose learning the way he or she would like to, because it's ultimately developing your personality as well. So as a brand, We can look for archiving the traditional craft pattern, intuitive learning, because these are all very intuitive learning by nature, and to study the gestures, because the gestures are the fine-tuned things which are not recorded. These are all observed. You observe your mother cooking and how she is cooking. And it takes lifetime. It's not just a recipe. You copy your mother's recipe, but it takes lifetime to build the same taste. And that's what is a part of the soul craft. The third important strategy is soul intelligence training. Soul intelligence training is to develop with the artisans, designer, design student, and build up the community of learning. Co-learn, although there are lots of practices where the students go for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But here what I'm suggesting is not just to study the patterns and techniques which are already happening, but to study mindfulness, but to study the fine-tuned elements which are not copied easily. These are all observational by nature. The sensory awareness, which helps you to get sensitized with the entire environment and helps you to understand how to handle the material with respect to that entire ecosystem, as some of the speakers were addressing as well. The last strategy, which is ethical luxury index, it is about not just to measure the sustainable metrics, but also to take the help of AI for intangible quotient measure, which include things like emotional engagement, artisans' well-being, and the authenticity which is taken to the next level to the consumers. Here is a very simplified version of understanding an AI-designed copy of the same design. The one which is on the right-hand side is a Banarasi weave, which is the original one, and the one on the left is the AI version. Although the AI is trying to put its own intelligence because it is generated through generative AI, but you will find something which is very interesting in the handmade fabric is that it can breathe, it has its own human nature, and that's what is carried to the global consumers. And here we come another example of what AI has been doing and what as humans we are creating, with an example of a human created or narrated poem and the version, AI version of the same poem. It is extracted from the book Sach aur Jhoot Se Pade, and it has a title Meri Maa Ki Sari. It talks about the relationship between mother and the daughter and how the daughter really evolves in her journey through the sari and how her evolution got matured. साड़ी पहनना ही माँ की पहचान नहीं, माँ उस कॉटन के साड़ी के विस्तार से भी विस्तृत है। मुझे माँ की कॉटन की हैंडलूम की साड़ियाँ बहुत पसंद है। वह सुंदर रंगों से सजी हुई संभलपुरी, मंगलगिरी, महेश्वरी, तांत, कोटा डोरिया क्या खूब सजती है। माँ की साड़ियों में एक अजब सा कायदा, तहजीब, नज़ाकत है। वह बहुत संभल कर माँ से लिपटी हुई उनके साथ चलती है। मेरी कॉटन की साड़ियाँ भी बहुत सुंदर है, मगर अभी भी अल्हड़, अजीब सा उतावलापन है उनमें, जानने की इच्छा से भरी हुई। मुझसे थोड़ा आगे ही चलती है मेरी साड़ी, इसलिए माँ की 2 साड़ियाँ मांग कर लाई हूँ। बहुत प्यार से उन्हें मेरी नई संभलपुरी साड़ी के साथ कबट में रखा है। अब मेरी साड़ियाँ भी कुछ कायदा, कुछ लय सीख जाएगी। And here comes the AI version of the same poem, but here what is slightly missing is the range of emotion, is the range which that young woman traveled through. And that's why it is very interesting to question ourselves and check what's next. It's very important to really see AI coming into implementation, but not forgetting what our authenticity is. So next time you are creating anything using AI, just blindly think about it. Think about it, are you really creating a piece of soulcraft? Are you really using AI consciously and intelligently so that AI is really collaborating in a meaningful way to translate your authenticity across? Or you are part of another competition, or you are part of another race, just for that you are copying with the help of AI? Because at the end, we have to remember that when creation ends, the true craft begins. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It has been great to be here, and you have been really great audience, live and participating. These are the set of references, and I'm truly thankful to be here. Take care.